In this video, we are talking about the one-way ANOVA test. It is a parametric test which is used to compare the mean of two or more independent groups to check whether there is statistical evidence associated with the mean of this group and to know whether there's significant difference. Now, these are the groups that will be provided. As you can see, these are the three groups, and these three groups contain different numbers of sample. You can see the group 1, which is the S1, contain 15, 18, 19, 22, and 11. That is 5 group. For the X2, it also contains 5 group, but the S3 contains 6 group. You see 18, 24, 19, 16, 15, and 22. So for the S3, it contains 6 samples in that group. That is the third group. So there are 3 groups in this, and from the work example, they say that here are score obtained by 3 different groups of students. Test for significance among the groups. So now before we move to how the calculation is being done, let's look at some of these abbreviations that are used. You see, this is summation. That sign you see there is summation x squared divided by n. That n is the number of sample. SSB stands for sum of square between group, sum of square total, and sum of square within group. Now, SB means square between group, mean square within group. But DF represents the degree of freedom, and that is the formula over there. K which is a constant. That is the number of groups that we have, which is 3. And N is the number of sample present in those groups. And if we calculate all the sample, we are having 16 samples in those 3 groups. Now let's move to how we got those numbers. Now, if you check the S1, that 85 is the sum of all the values in the S1, which give us 85. And the 105 is the summation of all the values in S2. And S3 is the summation of all the values in S3. Now, S1 square is the square of all the values in S1, which will give us this S1 square, and S2 square is the sum of all the values in S2 square, which give us the S2 rather, which give us the S2 square, and S3 square is the sum of all the value in S3. And now 226, 2267, there is summation of all the values found in these groups. In exam, maybe these three groups might be given, and this other group you yourself will work it out. Now S square is the square of the sum. We are squaring 85, 105, 114, 1515, 226, 67, 226, and that is how you get them. Now, S squared divided by the number of sample. We have 16 sample present in those 3 groups. Now you are dividing 7225 by 5, which is the number of sample present in group 1, 5, which is the number of sample present in group 2. But in group 3, there are 6 sample present there. So you divide the square of the sum by the number of sample present in the group, and you get there. Then summation of S square is the summation of the values in the square of the values of the sum of this. That is 1515, 2267, 2226. That's summation of S square. And summation of X is 85, 105, 114, and 114. Yes. Now, let's move to the summation of S squared divided by N. We are adding all the values, the sum of all the X. We are adding 1445, 2205, 2166, and we are going to get 5816. Then the square of sum between groups, it carries the formula, which is the square of sum divided by the number of sample minus summation of S square divided by N. Summation of S squared is 6008, which if you divide it by 16, you are going to have 5776. And if you minus 5776 from 5816, you are going to get 40 as your answer. Now, SST is equal to the summation of S square minus summation minus SSB, which is sum square between groups, and you're having 232. The summation of SSW rather is equal to SST minus SSB. Now, if you minus 232 minus 40, you're going to have 192. Now, we're looking for MSB rather, which is 40 divided by 3, which is the number of groups minus 1, according to the formula, which is shown at the other end. Now, when you do that, you're going to have 20, and MSW is your MSW is SSW divided by number of sample minus number of groups, which you're having 14.769. But before you get to that point, you have to calculate the degree of freedom, which is 2 divided by 13. And after that, you find F, which is equal to MSB divided by MSW. And when you do so, you're going to have 20 divided by 14.769, which you are going to have 1.354 as your answer. So we're going to stop here. That is the calculated value. You can also get the table value using your your statistical table. Thank you, and don't forget to follow Labo Academy for more educational videos like this.